Have you ever noticed how a hug can contain entire universes? How the simple act of wrapping someone in your arms can convey what words could never express? It is in that space, in that suspended moment between two bodies, that something magical happens. A silent exchange, a shared vulnerability. Princess Diana, affectionately known as the People's Princess, deeply understood the power of human touch. She revolutionized the British monarchy, not just with her beauty or fashion sense, but with her extraordinary ability to forge genuine connections. When Diana embraced someone, it wasn't a mere ceremonial gesture, it was a wholehearted offering, a gift of absolute presence. You might wonder what this has to do with you, with your relationships, with that special someone in your life. Everything, actually. Absolutely everything. Every hug carries an opportunity, a chance to convey what you truly feel, to create a bond that transcends the physical and reaches deeper layers. When you hug someone who stirs intense feelings in your heart, there is a language beyond words. A language that speaks directly to the unconscious, that surpasses the barriers of reason and touches the most primal essence of being. Imagine for a moment your arms gently enveloping them, your breaths finding a harmonious rhythm, your bodies relaxing in each other's presence. It is in that moment of shared vulnerability that something transformative can occur. Diana knew that it was not grand gestures that won hearts, but subtle moments. Those small instants of authenticity that forged unbreakable bonds. When she touched someone, it was not only with her hands, but with her entire soul. Have you ever wondered what really happens when two bodies meet in an embrace? Psychologically, there is a release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone. This neurotransmitter reduces anxiety, lowers blood pressure, and creates a sense of well-being and security. Biologically, we are hardwired to respond to human touch in ways deeply rooted in our evolutionary development. But there is something more happening, something that transcends biology. When you embrace someone with full intention, with total presence, you create an energetic field that communicates far more than words ever could. It's as if, for a few moments, the social masks we all wear fall away, allowing a glimpse of the soul. Vulnerability, so often mistaken for weakness in our society, is actually the purest manifestation of courage. Allowing yourself to be seen, truly seen, in a moment of connection that is revolutionary in a world that constantly teaches us to hide, to protect, to disguise. Diana understood this instinctively. In a rigid system of rules and protocols, she chose authenticity. She chose the risk of vulnerability in exchange for the reward of genuine connection. What if you did the same? What if, in your next hug, you whispered not just words but truths? If you let your voice carry not just sounds but feelings? Here lies the secret that few comprehend. It is not elaborate words or grand declarations that create obsession. It is authenticity, the courage to show vulnerability, the ability to create a safe space where the other feels they can simply be. When you hug someone important to you, a subtle dance takes place, a choreography of energy, emotion, and intention. What you communicate in that moment goes far beyond the verbal. It reaches unconscious layers, awakens ancestral memories of belonging, security, and connection. The emotional defense mechanisms we build over a lifetime, those invisible walls we raise to protect ourselves from future pain, begin to soften when we experience a truly present hug. For a few moments, the armor is set aside, allowing for a soul-to-soul connection. Think of the most meaningful moments in your life, the deepest connections you've ever felt. They were not built through strategies or manipulation. They were created through the courage to be truly present, to be wholly there, without reservation. That is where the magic happens. When you whisper words during a hug, they gain an entirely different dimension. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. The vibration of your voice against their body, the sincerity in your tone, the vulnerability in your delivery. Diana understood the transformative power of authenticity in a world obsessed with appearances. She knew that to truly touch a soul, you must first allow your own to be touched. In a world where we are constantly seeking deeper connections, where loneliness seems to grow even in the midst of crowds, perhaps it's time to rediscover the art of the mindful hug. of intentional touch, of full presence. To those who have journeyed with me this far, I feel we share a similar quest, a deep desire for genuine connections, for relationships that nourish the soul. If you haven't joined this community yet, now might be the perfect moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Together, we will walk this path of self-discovery and transformation of our relationships. Each notification will serve as a reminder that we are not alone in our pursuit of more authentic connections. The search for genuine connection is a journey, not a destination. It is a daily commitment to authenticity, to the courage to be vulnerable, to the willingness to take emotional risks for the possibility of something beautiful. A hug is just the beginning. It is the gateway to a type of intimacy that transcends the physical and reaches the spiritual. It is in that sacred space between two bodies that the deepest truths can be shared. So, what should you say during a hug to create this profound connection, this healthy obsession? The answer may surprise you with its simplicity. It is not magical formulas or rehearsed lines that create unbreakable bonds. It is truth. Your truth. The one that resonates in your heart and, when shared with genuine vulnerability, has the power to tear down walls and build bridges. Say what you truly feel, not what you think they want to hear, not what you learned in some relationship manual. Speak from the center of your being. The words that scare you with their honesty, that liberate you with their authenticity. Perhaps it is simply, "I feel safe with you," or "Your presence calms me," or even, "When I'm in your arms, the world makes sense." The magic is not in the specific words, but in the truth they carry, in the courage to express what you truly feel without filters, without games, without strategies. Diana did not win hearts by following a script, but by breaking it, by daring to be human in a system that demanded perfection, by showing vulnerability in an environment that prized stoicism. What if you did the same? Instead of seeking the perfect words, seek the perfection of authenticity. Self-awareness is the foundation of this journey. You cannot share your truth if you don't know what it is. You cannot set healthy boundaries if you don't recognize your own needs. You cannot forge genuine emotional bonds if you are not in touch with your deepest emotions. Paradoxically, emotional independence is what makes healthy interdependence possible. When you know who you are, when you recognize your inherent worth, when you understand that your completeness does not depend on external validation, that is when you become capable of giving and receiving love fully and authentically. Imagine a hug as a portal, a sacred space where two souls can meet, free from social masks, expectations, and power plays that often permeate relationships. In that space, what you say matters less than the intention behind your words. The energy you transmit, the truth you share, the courage you show in allowing yourself to be seen in your essence. It is like the ancient bamboo metaphor, flexible enough to bend with life's storms, yet strong enough to remain rooted in your truth. That is the delicate dance between vulnerability and strength, between surrender and autonomy, between opening to another and staying true to yourself. Diana embodied this dance. In a system that demanded conformity, she chose authenticity. In an environment that valued emotional distance, she opted for genuine connection. In a culture that expected perfection, she embraced her humanity with all its imperfections and complexities. Have you felt the difference between a ceremonial hug and a mindful hug? Between empty words and words born from the depths of the soul? The difference is palpable. It is felt in the body, recognized by the heart, recorded by the unconscious. When you hug someone with full presence, something almost magical happens. Time seems to slow down. The outside world dissolves. There is only that moment, that connection, that silent exchange of energy and truth. It is in that sacred space that words gain transformative power, not for their literal meaning, but for the energy they carry, for the intention behind them, for the truth they convey. Think for a moment. What truth would you like to share during a hug? What part of your heart do you keep guarded, waiting for the right moment, the right person to be revealed? Perhaps it is your deep admiration for them, Maybe it is gratitude for the way they see the world, for how they make you feel, for the person you become when you are with them. Perhaps it is something as simple yet profound as, I see you, not just your outer appearance, but your essence, and it is beautiful. Or, with you, I can be myself, and that is the greatest gift anyone could give me. Healthy obsession, the kind that does not arise from psychological games or emotional manipulation but from genuine connection, emerges when someone feels truly seen, heard, and valued. When they experience the rare, precious sensation of being accepted exactly as they are, with all their complexities, contradictions, and nuances. Diana understood this intuitively. Every hug she offered carried this silent message: I see you. You matter. Your pain is valid. Your existence makes a difference. What if you did the same? If every hug were an opportunity not only to express affection, but to communicate unconditional acceptance, deep validation, and absolute presence. The emotional bonds we form over a lifetime are shaped by these small interactions, by those seemingly insignificant moments that, when combined, weave the fabric of our relationships. A mindful hug, accompanied by words born from the truth of your heart, can be more transformative than 1,000 superficial conversations. It can heal old wounds, open doors to deeper levels of intimacy, and create a safe space where true love is allowed to flourish. Authentic self-esteem, not based on external validation or material achievements, but born from self-knowledge and self-acceptance, is the cornerstone of this capacity for genuine connection. When you know your worth, when you understand that you are deserving of love simply by existing, you become able to offer love without conditions, without expectations, without games. It is paradoxical, but profoundly true. The more you cultivate emotional independence, the more capable you become of creating healthy interdependence. The more rooted you are in your own truth, the freer you are to share it with another. Imagine yourself in that hug. Feel their warmth against you. Notice the rhythm of their breath. Observe how gradually your heartbeats begin to synchronize. This phenomenon, studied scientifically, is called cardiovascular entwining. Literally, your hearts start to beat in a shared rhythm. It is in this moment of deep physical connection that your words can reach not only the conscious mind, but also the unconscious. Not only reason, but also the heart. What would you say if you knew your words would be received not as mere sounds, but as a multisensory experience? If you understood that what you express during that hug has the power to create lasting emotional memories? Perhaps, when I'm with you, I feel at home. Or, you inspire me to be a better version of myself. Or simply, thank you for existing just as you are. The beauty is in simplicity, in unadorned truth, in the courage to show vulnerability, even knowing there are no guarantees. Diana revolutionized the public's perception of the monarchy, not through elaborate strategies, but through her unwavering commitment to authenticity, with the courage to be human in a system that expected divinity, with the willingness to connect truly in an environment that valued distance and protocol. 7 pillars for a deep connection during a hug. Pillar 1. Full presence. Before any word is spoken, be completely present. Let go of past or future worries. Feel the moment with all your senses. The quality of your presence communicates more than any word. Pillar 2. Conscious vulnerability. Allow yourself to be seen in your truth. Do not hide parts of yourself out of fear of judgment. The courage to be vulnerable creates space for genuine, deep connections. Pillar 3. Authentic expression. Your words must arise from the truth of your heart, not from strategies or manipulations. Authenticity resonates on levels that the conscious mind cannot reach. Pillar 4. Unconditional acceptance. Communicate through your words and energy that you accept them completely, not the idealized version, but who they truly are with all their complexities. Pillar 5. Specific gratitude. Express gratitude not generically, but by acknowledging specific qualities you admire. Conscious gratitude creates positive cycles of recognition and appreciation. Pillar 6. Emotional safety. Create, through your presence and words, a space where they feel they can be authentic without fear of judgment or rejection. Emotional safety is the soil in which intimacy blooms. Pillar 7. Loving intention. Let your motivation be genuinely positive, not to manipulate or control, but to express authentic love and foster true connection. The intention behind your words is as important as the words themselves. When Chayot is integrated, these pillars do not create mere fleeting moments of connection, but lay the foundation for lasting relationships based on mutual respect, shared authenticity, and genuine love. Diana embodied these principles naturally, not as learned techniques, but as spontaneous expressions of her humanity. Her ability to connect with people across all social strata, to make each individual feel truly seen, stemmed from this unwavering authenticity. When you embrace someone dear to you, an alchemy occurs. A subtle energy transformation, a dance of vulnerability and strength, an exchange that transcends the physical. The emotional defenses, the structures we build throughout our lives to protect against potential pain, begin to relax. The social masks we wear daily begin to fall. For a few moments, a true encounter becomes possible. In that sacred space, your words can act as catalysts for transformation, not as manipulation, but as bridges, not as tools for dependency, but as invitations to deeper connection. Why not try it? In your next significant hug, allow yourself to be fully present. Feel their body against yours. Notice their breathing rhythm. Observe the small details, the familiar scent, the texture of their clothes, the warmth radiating from their body. And then, when you feel you've created that space of safety and intimacy, share a truth from your heart. Something you admire in them, something you appreciate about your relationship, something you feel but rarely express in words. Not as a technique to create obsession, but as a practice of authentic intimacy. Not as a strategy to bind them to you, but as an invitation to a deeper connection. Healthy obsession, the kind based on genuine admiration, mutual respect, and authentic connection, does not arise from psychological games or emotional manipulation. It arises from the rarity of authenticity in a world of superficiality. From the preciousness of truth in a culture of appearances, from the security of unconditional acceptance in a society of impossible expectations. Diana understood the revolutionary power of authenticity in a system built on appearances. She saw how genuine vulnerability could transform not only individual relationships, but collective perceptions. What if you brought that same revolution into your personal relationships? Instead of following predetermined scripts or emotional games, choose the most challenging and infinitely more rewarding path of authenticity. A hug is only the beginning. It is the portal to a type of intimacy that many seek but few find. Not because it is impossible, but because it requires a courage our culture rarely values, the courage to be truly seen, to show vulnerability, to take emotional risks for the possibility of genuine connection. The words you choose during that hug matter less than the truth they carry, less than the courage they demonstrate, less than the intention behind them. Speak what is true for you, what arises from the depths of your being, what resonates with your essence and reflects your genuine admiration. Perhaps it is. With you, I can finally breathe. Or, your heart is a place where I feel safe. Or, the way you see the world makes me want to be a better person. The beauty lies in specificity, in attentive observation, in recognizing the unique qualities that make this person special in your life. It is not generic formulas that forge deep connections, but specific acknowledgments. Not rehearsed lines that touch the heart, but truths shared with vulnerability and courage. Diana knew this instinctively. Every interaction of hers was marked by that quality of absolute presence, genuine attention, and recognition of shared humanity. And perhaps that is the true secret, recognizing that behind all social masks, titles, and carefully cultivated appearances, there is a human being seeking the same fundamental things: to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, to be loved When you embrace someone with this awareness, something transformative happens, not only for the other person, but for you as well. It is not just giving, but an exchange, not just a physical act, but a communion of souls. Self-awareness is the foundation of this practice. You cannot offer genuine presence if you are disconnected from yourself. You cannot share your truth if you do not know what it is. You cannot create space for another's vulnerability if you haven't recognized and accepted your own. The journey begins with you, with the commitment to explore your inner world, with compassionate curiosity, to examine your attachment patterns, your defense mechanisms, your deepest emotional needs. As you become more aware of who you truly are, beyond social roles, external expectations, and learned masks, you become more capable of creating space for authentic connections. Your hugs become not merely physical gestures, but expressions of full presence. Your words become not just sounds, but portals to genuine intimacy. Your relationships transform not only into mutual exchanges of benefits, but into sacred spaces of shared growth. Imagine a world where every hug carried that quality of presence, where every word spoken arose from the truth of the heart, where every relationship was a space of authenticity and mutual acceptance. Diana envisioned that world. In every act of compassion, every truly present hug, every interaction marked by unwavering authenticity, she offered glimpses of how human relationships could be. Perhaps that is her most enduring legacy, not titles or achievements, but the reminder of our shared humanity, the invitation to forsake appearances in favor of authenticity, the example of how vulnerability, far from being weakness, is the purest expression of courage. So, what should you say during a hug to create an unforgettable connection? The answer, as always, lies within you, in the truth of your heart, in the courage of your vulnerability, in the authenticity of your expression. It is not magic words that create healthy obsession, but the rarity of truth in a world of superficiality. Not specific phrases that touch the soul, but the courage to show vulnerability in a culture that values emotional armor. Speak what is true for you, what arises from the depths of your being, what may frighten with its honesty, but liberates with its authenticity. And remember, the goal is not to create dependency, but healthy interdependence, not to manipulate emotions, but to cultivate genuine connections, not to ensure they never leave, but to nurture a relationship where both choose to stay, day after day, because the connection nourishes both their souls. Diana revolutionized our understanding of human connection, not through techniques or strategies, but through the courage to be authentically human in a system that prized distance and protocol. And perhaps that is the true lesson. The deepest revolution does not take place in streets or palaces, but in the sacred spaces between two hearts that choose authenticity over performance, vulnerability over protection, truth over convenience. Every hug is an opportunity, an invitation to that silent yet profound revolution, a chance to create a moment of genuine connection in a world that often values the superficial over the significant. And perhaps, in that hug, you will discover not only a deeper way to connect with another, but also a path to reconnect with yourself, with the truth of your heart, the authenticity of your expression, the courage of your vulnerability. It is in that delicate dance between self-awareness and connection, between emotional independence and healthy interdependence, between vulnerability and strength, that we find not only more fulfilling relationships, but a more authentic way of existing in the world. Diana showed us that path, not as a destination to be reached, but as a journey to be lived day by day, hug by hug, truth by truth. And now the invitation is yours, to bring that same quality of presence, that same courage of authenticity, that same readiness for conscious vulnerability into your relationships. Start with a hug. Be completely present. And then, when you feel you have created that sacred space of safety and intimacy, share a truth from your heart. Not as a technique, but as a practice. Not as a strategy, but as an expression of your deepest humanity. And perhaps in that simple act, you will uncover the true secret that Diana so beautifully exemplified, our capacity for authentic connection is not only a path to more satisfying relationships, but an expression of our deepest humanity and a gateway to our fullest fulfillment.